Thank you. Um, the the teaching I have is from my pastor. It's called "Help is on the Way." I got his notes. Make it a little easier. The text is going to be from Psalms 121, 1 through 4, and verse 8. Um, we are living in the end times. Many are fearful of what the fruit holds. Jesus warned of wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, and diversion places. Many people are going through the storm of life. Some individuals experience uncertainty regarding their direction or decision making, but don't give up. Help is on the way. And we're going to do a reading in Luke 21, verse 28. This is out of the King James Version. And when these things begin to come past, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Help is on the way. Isaiah 40:31 states, but they will wait upon the Lord, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. You may be at your wit's end, but help is on the way. The psalmist said, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Just hold on a little longer. Help is on the way. Do you need patience? Hebrews 10, verse 36 through 37 states, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, you might receive the promise. For yet a little while, he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Feel like you can't do another day? Just hold on a little longer. Help is on the way. Do you ever feel as though the children for whom you have been hoping and praying and supporting will never change? Just hold on a little longer. Help is on the way. The Greeks had a race in their Olympic Games that was unique. The winner was not the runner who finished first. It was the runner who finished with his torch still lit. I want to run all the way with the flame of my torch still lit for him. Remember what his word says. The Bible repeated instructions believers to remember God's word, his promises, and his actions throughout history. This remembering is virtual for maintaining faith, resisting temptation, and finding guidance in life. Remembering God's promise and past faithfulness can bring comfort and hope during difficult times. And then I'm going to read John 17:17 from my New King James Bible, because Pastor didn't have that down here. He quoted that from his memory. One second. It says, sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. It is through his word that we learn of his second coming. Help is on the way. During his 1960 presidential companion, John F. Kennedy often closed his speech with the story of Colonel Davenport, the Speaker of the Connecticut House Representatives, on May 19, 1780. The sky of Hartford darkened ominously, and some of the representatives glanced out the windows. Feared the end was at hand, quarreling and clamoring for immediate adjournment. Davenport rose and said, the day of judgment is either approaching or it is not. If it is not, there is no cause for adjournment. If it is, I choose to be found doing my duty. Therefore, I wish that the candles be brought. Rather than fearing what is to come, we are to be faithful till Christ returns. Instead of fearing the dark, we're to be lights as we watch and wait. Help won't help tomorrow if you give up today. Galatians 6:9 through 10. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due seasons we shall reap, if we faint not, as we have therefore opportunity, Let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. A brighter day is coming for those who believe and pray. Help won't help tomorrow if you give up today. We're going to look at James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tired, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Giving up and quitting is not an option for a Christian. Help is on the way. The children are all dressed and ready for school, but there is no food for them to eat. The house mother of the orphanage informed George Moeller. George asked her to take the 300 children into the dining room and have them sit at the tables. He thanked God for the food and waited. George knew God would provide food for the children as he always did. Within minutes, a baker knocked on the door. Mr. Moeller, he said, last night I could not sleep. Somehow I knew that you would need bread this morning. I got up and baked 3 batches for you. I will bring it in. Soon there was another knock at the door. It was the milkman. His cart had broken down in front of the orphanage. The milk would spoil by the time the wheel was fixed. He asked George if he could use some free milk. George smiled as the milkman brought in 10 large cans of milk. It was just enough for 300 thirsty children. When you think no one is listening and no one is around, help is on the way. We're going to look at Isaiah 41, verse 10. This, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will hold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. It may seem like no one is listening, no one understands, no one really cares. Hey, don't believe the devil's lies. God is listening, God understands, God cares. Help is on the way. Sorrow will turn to joy, weeping will turn to laughter. John 16:20 states, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that you shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And you shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. And then the key points the pastor has is the death of Lazarus. When he looked out the tomb, help was there. Jesus raised him from the dead. His help was on the way. Jonah tried to rebel against God, was thrown overboard a ship. Help was on the way. Great fish. Peter went to prison and God got him out. Help was on the way. And then we have James 5, verse 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draws nigh. And the last one is John 11:42. And I knew that thou hearest me always, but because of the people which stand by, I say it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. That was, the help is on the way. There's 4 key points is that for this message is because I am saved, help is on the way. Because I'm weak, he makes me strong. Because I don't understand most things, God understands all things. Because I have faith and hope, I know help is on the way. And that is the lesson that I'm giving today on help is on the way.
Hey, wonderful. Thank you.
That was great.
Good job, Jeremy.
Thank
That's
you.
so true that, if you give up today, that you're not going to get your help tomorrow. So, no matter what we do, we cannot give up because God is still in business. So
this was the message that my pastor at the Anchor Baptist Church preached the day I got resaved and baptized at the Anchor Baptist Church.
Help was
That's
on the way.
awesome. How encouraging. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jeremy.
You're
And that
welcome.
part that you said from George Mueller's book is
Yes,
that's one of my favorite parts of his book. So
that's a true story.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
It is.
If anybody needs to encourage themselves to be able to, keep standing and not give up and to believe for abundance, reading George Mueller's book is a great help. So I know I had several $1,000s I had to get for my room and board at the Way Corps. And I told somebody, I said, by the time I'm done reading George Mueller's book, all my money will be in. And it was. And it was in 8 months early.
Wow.
So it's a definite one of my favorite books. Sorry, my husband just stepped on my toe.
Oh. How kind of your pastor to share his notes with you too.
Yeah, I told him that I wanted to give a teaching, that I felt it in my heart to give this teaching with y'all on Zoom. And I explained to him the fellowship, and I asked him for his notes. He said, most definitely.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now I'm working on getting my discipleship certifications with the Anchor Baptist Church.
What
great.
all was involved with that?
It's 24 different lessons.
Uh-huh.
It's books, little booklets that I do, and I fill out and give it to the pastor, and then he grades it and gives me my certification.
Wonderful.
Very
Good.
Make sure you tell him how much we liked it and thank him for us.
I
Yeah.
will. He knows today I'm giving it.
That's great.
Good.
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 Let them know that there are people as far away as New York and where are you, Vanessa?
Connecticut.
And that's in
Connecticut.
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 That was me. I'm in Connecticut. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then South Florida and
Yeah. I learned something new. I didn't realize the Greek runners, it wasn't always the first person to come in. It was the one who showed up with his torch. I'd never heard that
Yeah.
before.
I've never heard that either.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna have
great.
to look into that. That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
I wonder what the significance of that was.
well, probably the striving lawfully. That was part of the rules, so you had to do it. That's
Yeah.
probably-
Yeah.
Interesting.
To me, it means the light of the word.
Good
So,
point.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
prepared if the darkness came.
Yeah.
You
Like
win
the
something.
Bible says, don't put it under a bushel, but let your light shine. So that's great.
You
No,
win
the
some-
fact. Go ahead, Giving.
If you win something without God, I'd be weary of the reward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
I was blessed to be reminded that help is on the way. That even when we don't see anything happening yet, God is working. It doesn't mean that He's not doing what He's supposed to be, what He wants to do for us. He is faithful, like I said in my prayer, and He always comes through. Always. Not
Mhm.
necessarily
Amen.
within the timeline that we want Him to, but when He thinks is the best time. I have learned that. I have learned to be patient. It was
Yeah,
not one of my qualities in the past.
One of the things we have to remember is sometimes God has to work in different situations to pave the way to give us our blessing.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I always think of Kevin and Wendy and finding that beautiful home. Wasn't the first home they looked at.
Yeah.
It took, wasn't it a year and 11 months or something?
Well, it was 2 years while we didn't even live anywhere, and it was more than that we had been looking. So
Yeah, we left Boca in October of 2020 and we moved in here at the end of September 29th, I think, 2022.
and Mary Nardo is a wonderful lady, wasn't ready to leave until then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had the flood, which reminded me God is never late. Help is on the way because we almost had this whole house be flooded. And boy, it seemed like the last minute to me, but it was just in time.
God
God
came with the right amount of people and the right amount of tools and energy and
sandbags and pumps and hoses and
There is
And those two scriptures, those two Isaiah scriptures, I've learned those to be songs over the years, and I was singing them to myself during that stressful time.
Yes, and the Bible is full of records of how God works within the timing, His timeline. I was recently reading the Moses record when he wanted to liberate the people from Israel, take them out of Egypt. And when he tried to do it initially, that he killed that Egyptian, wasn't the time. He needed to get ready for that. And it wasn't until years later when God when he was ready and prepared to go there and face Pharaoh. But before that, he wasn't. So it was interesting to see, and the same with Abraham, that he had to wait for 25 years to be able to impregnate Sarah. So it was so many records end of that. Yeah, the patience that they had to have at that time is a great lesson to us today. And I was telling myself today when I was driving home from what was I doing? This morning I attended a group that I joined, my business joined, and I was thinking, okay, and last night I was attending another group. This organization has 6,000 members, and the purpose of the networking events that they do is for people to mingle and connect and exchange business cards. And I was thinking, so many people looking after clients. And I said to myself, I'm not, just as I'm driving and saying, I'm just going to relax. God, I know you are telling me to relax. And that's all I'm going to do. Relax. I'll talk to the person that you point me to at the right time. But I would just enjoy myself as I attend and talk to people and learn about what they do. And that's what I've been doing, because God is God of connections. He has all the contacts we need and the right people to present to us, for us to escalate or take our businesses or whatever it is I want to do to the next level. And but we need to, and I had something that I had to learn in life, to relax. And I've been doing it pretty well. I'm enjoying myself.
Nice.
Good deal.
I can believe myself and relaxed. It's really fun.
Are you teaching this semester, Vanessa?
Yes, it's going to start next week, and I'm just looking at a very thick book that got in the mail, because the director said, well, we're going to give you a new class besides the usual class. And I said, oh my God. So it's accounting, but accounting is managerial accounting. I was teaching financial accounting. So managerial is, something that I remember from college, and I've been doing too. I've been doing at a lower scale level with small businesses. That's what they really do, managerial. That's the accounting we do for small businesses. So it's fascinating. I'm really looking forward to reviewing the material, but I have to review and refresh my memory, and not only that, but also see the techniques and that I'm going to use to convey the message to them, because most of them are not accounting majors, So I thank God. I had to thank God for ChatGPT also, because it makes things easier. Give me a simple example to explain this or that. It really comes in handy if we use it well.
But maybe they're not accounting majors, but someday they'll have their own small businesses.
Absolutely. And that's what I tell them, to try to make them interested in the class.
Right.
And also try to customize the examples to their field, and so they can see the connection and the application, how they could apply those things. But I tell them the same thing. You don't know where you're going to end up being. You're very young. You are very young. And life has many twists and turns that you cannot see right now. But believe me, you don't know the knowledge you learn today, you don't know when and where you're going to be applying that later. I have seen that in my career, that I am amazed at the twists and turns, not just career, life in general, that we go around, we don't know. The people we're going to meet, the knowledge we're going to have to apply. There's so many, life is not a linear, it's not linear, it's a zigzag and twists and turns.
Right.
I tell them that you don't know how you're going to need this, the knowledge you're learning today. So
That's a good point. And while we're going through life, we want to make sure that we listen to God.
yes,
Because God will tell us things that we need to know when we need to know. Like today, I went to the dentist and found out I still had the infection, and now they're concerned about the bone and all this. So I went to get another prescription of antibiotics, and I'm sitting there speaking in tongues, and Eileen texts me. And she wanted to just check in and see how I was doing. So I told her, and right then I've got somebody speaking in tongues with me.
That's
So, that was, it was like God just turning on a light bulb and saying, don't worry, kiddo, I'm on top of this.
That's right.
Just as we think of things during our day, to act on them. And because God is, just showing us things that we can help with. So we're areas where we can give.
Yeah, it is. One thing that I see that when we're in the position of teaching and giving, whether we get paid or not, and reminded me that when I was teaching in the Way Ministry, that God would work in us to deliver something that we didn't even have planned to do. And it was because God knew who could benefit from that in the audience. And I have seen that when I'm teaching, you get inspired, and God works in me and communicates something that it likes it hits the bullseye, to make it simple, for someone who needed to understand a certain way. It's so interesting. So listening to God is right on in this journey, that we cannot do it alone. But I cannot say that to them. When I'm telling that, I cannot be telling them, you listen to God. That's not.
Help is on the way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the help is on the way.
Does
Yeah.
anybody else want to share something? Go on, Lisa.
I have a question for Dan. Well, first, thank you, Dan, for posting those teachings on the website. And my question is, when you do the videos for your book, how the book works and everything, will you post them on that website?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Well,
So-
it's going to be posted on Jonathan Laboda's eBay site, right? Isn't that what it's
Well, he
for?
told me to put it on Facebook,
Oh,
and
okay.
I have my Substack, and you post them there.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can see it on what you do on Facebook then.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all know about it.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Just want to say thank you, Jeremy, for that teaching. It was great. What particularly hit home for me was Galatians 6, 9, and 10 about not be weary and well-doing, but to be good unto all men, especially unto the household of faith. And, sometimes I just need to be reminded of things like that. You get caught up in things at work, and sometimes you just forget that you need to stop and think about people. And people is the most important thing, right? And that verse just really hits home. So thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay.
I apologize. I was in and out. I was listening, but I had some family things going on in the background and they had to be taken care of. So I apologize for that. But Jeremy, I wanted to say, for a first-time teacher, you did not sound like a first-time teacher. I thought you handled yourself very confidently.
God gave me the strength.
Oh my gosh. I thought you really handled yourself like a pro. Like that was not a first time. It came across beautifully. You can tell how much you love God and how much God has done for you. Uh, I got to say, like you're kind of the newest to the fellowship, so you're kind of like the baby to us. Not that you're a baby, but you're the baby to us.
Yeah.
I think everybody was a proud parent tonight. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're so
Rosemary, you
welcome.
put it very well. I second that.
Heard it.
Mhm.
So that was very inspiring to me. So I can
Yeah.
remember my first time teaching. I was not that confident. I got to
Mhm.
tell you, you did an awesome job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think, Jeremy, something that also hit home for me is that saying help is on the way. And when it's such a simple statement, but one worthy of remembering, because sometimes we get so caught up in life situations and everything that's going on that we forget that God is right there and help is going to be there. You've got to just be patient. So thank you. So I think I might make a bumper sticker or something with that. I like that. That's good.
Good song title too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I do. I think that knowing Jeremy probably more than everybody here, we've spent a lot of time together. I'd like to just point out that that's one of Jeremy's confessions of his life, that God's gonna cover me. God's got an answer. God, you've said it so many different ways, but it's been well over a year now. I've known you and I've seen, you've had more dire situations than a lot of us, and many things that, had a lot of stuff to come through, and you always confess that God is going to do it. And from the minute, I think maybe the minute I first saw you, that you gave thanks to God for helping. And you're a great example of what you taught too, Jeremy. It's not just a teaching, it's something that I know I've seen in you, and I'm sure others have, and probably will more. So it's great to live what you're hearing. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.